What's happening, boys? You alright?
I'm alright. I don't know if I'm too sure about Ando.
Nah.
Just vented for 20 minutes while we waited to press the record button, so that's set today up well.
That's right.
You're just so unhappy that Corbett's been blown away by Hurricane Milton or whatever it is, and
well, we can either we can confirm he's alive. So everyone out in listener land, pray for Corbett. He's still in the midst of Hurricane Milton. The latest reports are he's not dead, and hopefully he sees his way back to these bonny shores. But I'm sure he'll be fine. It's just a wee tropical fart, isn't it? He's well out of the danger zone. He'll be okay.
He'll be happy as Larry. I mean, he's got blown on his holiday, so he's fine.
Hey, class.
It's just that he's raging that his Mickey Mouse ears came off, though. Like, they blew off. But
by the way, I struggled to figure out what that meant. I had to go back and figure that out. But anyway, that's an in-joke for anyone that's not part of the group chat. Get yourself along to WhatsApp, whatever.com. Can you do it that way? I don't know. But ask a friend.
Go on to Twitter and the links in there for the community chat, or give us a wee message.
Yeah, and be prepared to be bounced out if you're an infiltrator, like we had earlier on in the week, which was a good bit of excitement, if I'm honest.
Infiltrators or bots, that's what we get these days. Folk try to sell investment opportunities, and that's just Kev. That's mad, but some of them are genuine though, because I ended up buying 10 tickets for the Nigerian National Lottery on Saturday, so I think hopefully I'm going to win.
Good on you. So, good luck.
Yeah. Well, we've been away for a couple of weeks. Got 3 games to talk about. We all went in the half because we had enough of Hearts, and pretty much I was the only one that wanted to podcast last week. But as got mentioned in the community chat, that would be a terrible podcast. Just myself. So,
correct.
Which I took offence to be honest.
But never say anything.
Yeah, I never said it. Of course I did it.
You can't get offended by the truth, Tam. You're part of the woke brigade. You should know this, right?
I just shouting at my pillow at night and going, crying to my missus and saying, someone's bullying me again.
Perception is reality, Thomas. Remember that.
Absolutely. Well, welcome to This Is My Story Hearts podcast. Still managerless Hearts podcast. Still no Tony Bloom announcement. So we're not going to bother doing any headlines because they're the only real headlines we would probably care about this week and the next coming week. So international break, so we'll probably not be on next week unless some sort of mad announcement's made and we have to start Googling stuff.
Should we just wrap it up now? I don't know why you're bothered to listen to this. It's going to be probably death and gloom and destruction, and we'll come back to you in 3 weeks when we've got actually maybe some positive news to speak about. Will we do that?
Fair ando. There's at least some positives. We won our first game. Hey.
Did we? Oh yeah. I can remember. Yeah, cool.
It's only a week ago.
Got a win to talk about for the first time this season, and then we top it off by getting beaten a pre-season friendly. No, what is it called? Testimonial last night.
Yeah, by a team that's 8th place in the championship.
Yeah, fantastic. It's just typical Hearts, though, isn't it? Let's be truthfully honest.
Yeah, doesn't it? I know Corbett has got a lot to say about friendlies and the way they play in them, but if we're judging Hearts on a testimonial on a Wednesday night and then on a national break, there's no point because it doesn't mean fuck all for me. So I've not even asked you. Corbett always does this. Ando, you been all right since we last?
Mate, I'll be honest. Since I last spoke to you guys, I have been absolutely brilliant. I've loved my life for the last 2 weeks, but that all melted into shit when I had to dial onto this call and realised I had to speak to you fucking wankers about Hearts. I immediately got triggered and angry and raging. As I was saying to Kev in the green room before we came on here. So mate, I've been good. Joking aside, thumbs up. Really, really good. But just raging at my football team. I think same as everybody.
Aye, fair enough. Kev, you been all right?
No, I was on my deathbed. I was on my deathbed this time last week.
I love it how we all just laugh when Kev says he's not been okay. It's a bloody shame.
Forced myself out my deathbed to watch possibly one of the worst European games I've ever experienced in my life. It was like playing Ross County in the bloody Conference League. Only to just go straight back to my kip again. So other than that, everything's been rosy. It was all great before that, and ever since I've just been working, mate. Hard at it.
Fair enough.
Boring.
Very.
But yeah, that's more entertaining than what I had to say, so that's fair.
Debatable, mate. Very debatable.
So we've got 3 games to talk about.
Wait. Tam, how have you been?
Been all right. I had to help my sister move house at the weekend.
God.
And that was absolutely shite. I ended up doing like 20,000 steps. And how do you do 20,000 steps for a house to a van and back? It was
something
honestly,
tells
your sister doesn't fucking work.
Exactly. Or something tells me you're not using the van properly and you could have parked it closer, but
no, it was very close. It was just multiple runs and
you left it outside the new house. Carried them into the old house.
There and back, exactly.
Tam being the type bastard that hired the van on a mileage basis. And he was like, no, I'll park at the end of the street, it's fine.
Fair point, actually. No, that was you're no wrong there. But that was my Thursday, so I only managed to catch the last 5 minutes. Minute. Oh my God!
Can I help put your teeth in?
Minutes off the Minsk game.
Man doing. Tam's having a stroke. Are you okay?
Minutes off the Minsk game. Yeah.
Right, okay.
I was trying to say like
the best 5 minutes of the game, mate. I don't know.
Exactly. So I was glorious. I loved that game. Definitely brilliant. But I've obviously watched it back and seen that it was not as seemed in the last 5 minutes. So that was that. But we've obviously got to touch on the day. We'll touch on the Ross County game because we didn't cover that men's game, and then Aberdeen at the weekend, which was probably up there with our best performance of the season, and we still couldn't win. So it's been a couple of weeks since we last spoke, so we did miss the Ross County game due to Kev dying, Corbett being away, and Ando not wanting to talk to me on a one-to-one basis.
I'm glad you found the real reason. Nothing to do with me being delayed coming home from work, but never mind. Right.
I know. So Ross County, we did speak about it beforehand, but I thought it started as we meant to go on when Don Cowie obviously knows how to play at Tynecastle. Straight for the coin flip, he says, why don't we swap the sides? And from there, everything went wrong, essentially, didn't it? And as far as I'm concerned, it was 1-0 because I was away.
Having a piss?
No, I was away him. I did not stay to the 96th minute.
Oh, you mean that way around, right? Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't see the goal. So, but Kev, obviously you were there. And then you want to comment on the county game?
I think again, because we had sacked Naismith the week before, I think you've always got that sort of anticipation that things will automatically change and it will all be rosy in the garden. However, it really wasn't the case. I think there were still a few players that were still feeling that Naismith had actually trained them during the week. Whether or not he actually trained any times is debatable, of course. But we just looked lethargic. And let's be honest, they were not any better than us on the day. They just scored an absolute. The boys scored a worldie. It's as simple as that. Yeah. I don't think it would have made any difference who was in goals that day, because I know that's a massive debate at the moment amongst our community chat, and no doubt around pubs and the various supporters clubs around Tynecastle at the moment about the goalkeeper situation, but it wouldn't have made any difference on that. And what we've had to rely on effectively is an equaliser right in the last minute of the game from Shankland. I don't think he knew much about it, to be honest with you, but it was a point on the board. You move on. I think there was a number of players probably had the Thursday night European game more in their minds than the game on the day, which is a worrying aspect in my opinion. If they're looking ahead of themselves rather than the actual game in question on the day.
Yeah, one thing I would say, I thought Benny Beringame coming back in, he was brilliant on the day as well. Shows how important he is for us as well. Hopefully he could just stay fit and keep going, but obviously had to drop out at Saturday there as well, just from playing too many games. So, but no, he was brilliant. As you say, Kev, worldly for the goal, and then you're exactly what we're not very good at, breaking down a low block, them no getting coming near us, and yeah.
I think from my point of view, of being at the game, everything was just lackluster. There's a lack of real pace and penetration in the team. There's possibly the show name, pace and penetration. But from the point of view of the way I looked at it, it was poor. I think there's a couple of things as well to be called out. I thought Boateng was unlucky not to get, he's dropped out of that game. I don't think there was any particular reason for it other than Benny came back in and didn't need two holding midfielders, but I thought he was unlucky to get dropped out.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say, especially, I would have much preferred anyone else in that position for the miss that Devlin had in the first minute, was it?
No, don't trigger me.
Yeah.
Don't trigger me. There's two names not to use across this whole episode, and that is Cammy Devlin and also Barry McKay. Cool. Please do not mention those names. You will trigger me. Leave it there.
I mean, not even got into Kenny Vargas and George Grant yet as well, so that's mad. But we'll certainly be talking about them. Obviously, we had the last 3 games as well. Young Adam Forrester coming in. Obviously, we've not really seen much of him before. I think he played 1 game, was that right? Previously, or was he was in the squad for the Hampden game, one of the semis last year, was that right? As well.
I never played them.
No, I didn't play. Cool. What's been the overall thoughts on him so far? Andel?
Fine. Not brilliant, not shit, just vanilla, middle of the road. But the question remains: who else are you going to bring in? That's the trouble. Is that with such what feels like such a bloated squad, with absolutely thin at certain positions, and that's one of them. But so obviously, our Jerry's had a wee injury, done himself a mischief. He's going to be out for a wee while, and there's nowhere else to turn to. So, and Liam Fox has had almost the perfect opportunity presented to him, which is right. Well, he knows the job isn't his full time. Yeah, I can get away with bleeding a youngster. It's almost a free hit. If he comes in and he's crap, well, it's not really my fault because I'm temporary manager. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to be his legacy. If he comes in and smashes it and does well, then all hail Liam Fox for the masterstroke of playing a young guy in the team in a tight spot. But it's neither one extreme nor the other. He's done exactly what I would expect him to do. Probably maybe slightly less than expectation because he hasn't really wowed me. But to the same argument, I've not looked at his performances from what I've seen of them and been raging with them. So yeah, fair enough. Pass marks.
I agree.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
I think his performance on Sunday showed a little bit of naivety around the fact that if you know you are going to be beat by somebody who's got pace, then what you do not do is you do not show him onto his good foot. You show him onto his bad foot. You bring him inside, for example, where it's going to be tighter to actually play the ball. And he got caught 2-3 times. Aberdeen probably should have scored before they did on Sunday, but we'll discuss that later.
I think there's other. Duke kind of had that one for toast on Sunday, but I don't know if that was the right sub at the right time as well. Oyegoke was having a great game, to be fair to him.
But then he pulled up.
Okay. Yeah, he didn't want to come off a scene, but one of those things you probably.
So there's that situation where he doesn't want to come off, and then actually what happens is he does worse injury to himself, and he's out until February. Because you know what our blooming history is with just little niggles. You have a little niggle in our team, and that's it. You're out for 2-3 months.
Yeah.
If you have like an actual pull, you're out for 9 months, And then if you've actually done some real damage, well, your career's over as far as we're concerned.
So we didn't actually touch on that, but Shankland's obviously pulled out of the Scotland squad for a niggle, as you put it, Kev. So when are we seeing Shankland next? Then
has he? News to me, mate. News to me. I don't bother reading the back pages or the sports of BBC Sport at any point during the international period. No point. Yeah. I'm not interested. Don't give two flying.
I do, but I am more than happy to see him pull it and take a rest for a week and a bit or whatever it is. So yeah, happy with that, to be honest, myself. Anything to add on Ross County, or are we pretty much good?
The only one thing I will add is that Ross County scored in 35 minutes, and that feels like in more recent games probably the least amount of time it's taken for an opposition team to figure out how shite we are and score. That's notwithstanding own goals. I know, obviously, there was a very early own goal against St Mirren, I think it was. But yeah, the goals just seem to be getting earlier and earlier. That's what I thought at that point, because like, oh shit, 35 minutes, that's quite early. They've figured this out. Excellent. But yeah, fair enough. Salvaged the draw in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got our big away day, the away day that never was, as we'll probably remember it, because the one we've all been taken away from us behind closed doors, and it wasn't Baku.
You reckon Shanks still went? That former pod member, Alistair Crookshanks, do you think he still went? I reckon he did. He probably spent 10 grand to get mega flights and mental connections to get all the way to Baku. Has anyone heard from him since?
To be honest with you, I think he actually booked the flights to Minsk without realising, because that's the type of thing he would do.
A flight to Warsaw, and probably then paid for a train or a taxi, an Uber from Warsaw.
I'll get an Uber to Belarus for Warsaw.
He heard the vodka was good, so he was like, that's him.
Uber for a fanny.
I'd like to say sorry, Shanks, but I'm not gonna.
We'll get texts tomorrow whenever this goes out, and then we'll be happy.
It'll be funny though. It'll be funny. Like it's because we love him dearly. That's why. If we weren't ripping the piss out of him, it would mean that we didn't care.
Yeah, correct. Right, on to the game though. Obviously, and it wasn't in Baku, was it? But it was somewhere in Azerbaijan, smaller place. But
the Livingston. It was the Livingston of effectively Azerbaijan.
Just outside of Baku, right, cool.
Right. Just outside of the important places, but in the middle of nowhere.
Absolutely. So obviously the setup, it was fairly similar team to the Ross County game, wasn't it? Obviously Spittle came into midfield, and we had Forrest and McKay. Happy enough with it. I do think, by the way, I was meant to comment on this, so I might as well do this now, but I think this 4-3-3 that Liam Fox has been playing, it seems to suit the squad we have. Quite happy with that myself. I don't know how you feel about it.
Well, I've never seen it played and us actually devastate anybody. So the formation or not, it's the personnel that are the problem, not the formation. So, but based on that alone, there's not enough to argue against you and say that it doesn't work. Because again, see previous point, it's the personnel that are the problem, not the formation. So, yeah, they can neither really agree or disagree to any great regard.
I think on paper, I think your 4-3-3, can be a successful formation in regards to it. But it goes back to something we've said before. I know Corbett's raised it. If you have you want to have an identity as an actual team. You want to have an example of how you are going to play. If you have an understanding and an example of how you're going to play, you can then recruit accordingly. Now, if we were going to, let's say, for example, that was the discussion during the run, the end of last season, that we were going to be playing this season with 4-3-3. You go out and you recruit for wingers with pace. You look at a second, striker that's got pace, so that you have another option. We haven't done that. So from the point of view of playing a 4-3-3, that's very well, all good and from on paper. But when you've got shite, and I will admit it, shite and players like Barry McKay, who could not give a monkey's right arse in regards to what he's doing, then you're never going to get anything out of 4-3-3.
Yep.
I think his stats last week are probably the worst stats. I mean, even if somebody went back and looked at football matches that I played back in 1980, whatever, I don't think my stats would be as bad as Barry McKay's. That's how bad. And if he pulls on another Hearts shirt, I will be devastated that he actually plays for us again. That's how bad I think he is. Never thought I'd say that about a Hearts player, but that's how
Really?
passionate I am about him being.
I can't, to be honest with you, Kev, I can't really disagree. That performance and getting a chance and starting, you would expecting, especially European game, big opportunity to try and go through the playoff this time round. Like, bit of effort, man. Like, and it's not even effort. It's just the basic stuff that was going wrong. It was the positioning, it was passing, just everything, and nowhere near it.
I fully understand. I fully appreciate he's been out the team. He got injured in the game at Easter Road back in the 27th of December or whatever. And I think we've seen him maybe once or twice cameo games towards the end of the season. But he had a full pre-season to get himself fit. And then he proceeds to play in that game last Thursday night where we passes here, we passes there. He had no actual successful passes. No professional football player should walk off a football park with 0 successful passes. But Barry McKay, hold my beer.
This isn't a new thing, though. This is the problem with him throughout his whole career. He's never been anywhere and been a success. It's part of the reason why he's at Hearts. Like, and if you look at to your point, Kev, I absolutely agree. If he gets any more minutes for Hearts, I will be absolutely furious. Because if you think about all the good stuff that he's done in a Hearts jersey, it'd make a 10-second highlight reel. Really, that's it. That's it.
Yeah,
the guy's dog shit. Drop him.
I've just looked at the stats. So 56 minutes on the park, 0 successful dribbles, 0 key passes, 0 successful crosses, 0 long balls, 3 of 4 out of 1, 3 of 4 ground duels. They slapped them with his fucking silk gloves. Prick. 8 lost possessions, 29 touches. How can you touch a ball 29 times in 56 minutes on the park?
And no find a man with any of those touches or passes.
No beat a man with it as well.
I'd happily beat him with a stick.
I'd put like my mortgage on the line that I could do better than that on Thursday night.
Oh, let's no get away with ourselves.
I'm not gonna have the opportunity to do it, so it's fine. But if the opportunity was there, I'd go for it. Sign me up, because I reckon I could have at least one successful pass in a game.
But what he's also got to realise, right? And every player in that team have got to realise is somebody new is going to come through the door in the next 3 weeks, right? Just to push it out there a little bit further. He is as a player, he has got to effectively try and get himself back into playing football, or he'll be in the scrapyard. He will be on a scrap heap of wasted talent. Let's be truthfully honest.
Yeah,
we know he's got it in him, but his attitude stinks.
Before he knows it, he'll be playing for fucking Airdrie in the Dog and Duck League.
He could be playing. He could play for Wraith Rovers. Last night could have been an actual trial for Wraith Rovers.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope so, because
I think off my high horse.
We need. I don't want to say we need excuses to get rid of players like this, but am I right in saying he's out of contract at the end of the season?
Please.
Actually,
pretty sure he is. Pretty sure he is. And if I'm not, if I'm wrong, then fine. But I don't see a scenario where he plays another minute for Hearts. If I was the manager, but no, you're absolutely shit. Those stats again. You look at these things in isolation. That's one game. But the thing is, though, it's not one game. It's a pattern of behaviour, and this is the thing. The pattern of behaviour extends beyond his time. Before his time at Hearts, to other clubs that he's been with, and he's is crap. He's just not a very good footballer.
I think as he could be.
I think we all know he's got it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he could be, but his attitude has gone out the window. I remember when Brad used to join us on the pod, saying that he had been doing a bit of research around Swansea fans to see what their thoughts were about him no longer playing for Swansea and being out of contract or being released, whatever it was in regards to that. And they were all saying, "Thank God."
Yeah, and they're in the same scenario.
Position. Exactly that. Exactly that. I was trying to look and see how long his contract is for, but
should it's the end of this year.
Brilliant if it is.
It is this year. I've just checked it. Sorry, it is.
Aye. Okay, right, good.
Definitely this year. So, there's a few out at the end of the year actually. I've seen something about it today. But
excellent. Shame Kai Rolls isn't one of them.
He's got about 5 years left, mate. So you're fine.
Easy.
Right, back to the game anyway. You were talking about losing an early goal at 35 minutes. So what was it? 20 minutes. Lost the goal this time round.
Yes.
Any thoughts on the goal, Kev? Andrew? Bunnies?
No,
yes.
Not really.
I think it comes back to again what we've spoken about in regards to Barry McKay, and this is to an extent this is unlike Forrest, is the fact that he just switched off. The Forrester had knocked the ball out the park with a really good challenge, and then simply Forrest just didn't track back. The boy pulls the ball back, and the guy's actually got a half decent chance. Let's put it that way. But again, we were all out of position.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
You know, Frankie Kent. Okay, not a bad position where he was actually standing because he'd taken on that front post point. But if he does that, then Rolls has got to move one in as well, 1-2 steps, so that he actually becomes the actual defender that's going to engage the guy who actually strikes the ball. He's got to move that one. And what then happens is Penrice, who was behind, he then needs to move in one. Because the likelihood of the ball going to the back post is actually pretty minimal, really. But that's where it's these kind of things that, what are you doing in training?
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that you should be. I mean, okay, you could actually argue the point. That's the kind of stuff you should know as a professional football player.
Very fair point.
But it comes to that point where these are the little mistakes that are being made every single game. And it's not one player that's making that mistake. It's the same, not the same players, but it's the same positions that are making regular mistakes, which is costing us goals. Yep. Because we don't have, I mean, I'm not putting all this on Shankland, but we only have one recognised striker on the team. That's ridiculous in itself. Yeah. You know, so from that point of view, if you've got, as Shankland has found himself a couple of times this season, being doubled up on, then from that point of view, because you've got nobody else there that's going to put the ball in the back of the net, as soon as you start losing goals, you're risking any particular option or opportunity to actually win games, and that's where we find ourselves.
There's two reasons, realistically, why we're in such a bad position in terms of performances compared to last season, and one is Shankland's form at the moment, although he's been much better the last 3 games, I would say, and that's probably down to the setup in a sense, and easy goals. We're continually losing easy goals, and it's no different. That Minsk goal the other night, goals at the weekend, the goal against Ross County, as much as it was a fantastic shot, it should have been pressed, or when Benny's making that challenge, somebody should be helping him out, and it's always the same, and it's the same story all season at this rate. So new manager coming in has to obviously try and tighten us up a bit, to be honest.
Yeah, and we know we could do it. Let's be truthfully honest. But I think what we've also got to understand is that aspect of what is your identity, what is your setup. Are you going to go with a flat back 4? If so, then in my opinion, and I've mentioned this before, I think you need to go with Clark, because Clark is your long term option in regards to what the future looks like. We will not be getting 2-3 seasons out of Craig Gordon. This is a legacy that should have been dealt with. Should have been dealt with back in the summer, or towards the end of last season. We gave him a run in the team in regards to trying to get him in. You're trying to get that opportunity to go away to the Euros. It never happened. but we should have then moved them on. And we as a club do not move players on as quickly or when we should actually be moving players on. But I would be saying go with Clark as your option because he's your long term. He's still got another 18 months of his contract.
I was actually just checking it. It seems, if transfer market is correct, it seems that he's out of contract in 25.
No, because he signed did he not sign a new contract at the beginning of the last season?
Sander Clark.
I thought
no, he's out of contract at the end of this year. End of this season.
So effectively so if he doesn't get any games between now and January, other teams can come and speak to
100%.
him, and he could be away.
That's my understanding, right?
And there's another keeper
in that case,
and Craig Gordon's also out in this season as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Well played, Heart of Midlothian Football Club.
Yeah, yeah.
But then, how much of this? Well, okay. Yeah, okay, it's all the club's fault, really. But if the rumours are to be believed about the disturbances in the dressing room and Craig Gordon getting his way and all that sort of stuff, going and complaining to certain high-level members and why am I not playing? All of a sudden starts the next game and has never been taken out since. Aye, it's
even though we haven't kept a clean sheet.
Fucking stinks. Absolutely stinks. And you know what? I'm not saying it's true or accurate or whatever, but it's. I don't know, just another thing. It's just the optics of it don't look good.
He'll forever be a legend at Hearts, but I just don't want him ruining that legacy as well by no being to the standards that he'll set himself and that us have set for him as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, more positives. Bit of luck for once this season, obviously with the own goal, first goal. Carroll's, to be fair, good header, knocking it back into position, and then it was obviously their captain or whatever. I think it was the captain, had no idea what was happening, but good luck before the half time. We'll take it.
Yep. And that's all you can say. Decent cross from Penrice. And from that point of view, Rowe's done what he's supposed to do. Let's be honest, it wasn't anything more than that. And if they had actually defended or set their defence up properly, some boy would at the back post would have just hooked that off the line anyway. But hey, we've not, as you rightly say, we've not had really much luck this season, so we'll take what we can get when we get it.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, they didn't win at half time. And yeah, but I think, to be fair to Liam Fox, subs made a real difference. Finished the game a lot stronger than we were first half.
Well, you've got to remember, for the first 56 minutes we were only playing with 10 men because one couldn't find a pass to another member of his team.
We're going to let this go.
So as soon as the 57th minute came in, we were a much stronger team because we had more players in the park.
Yeah, that is a fair point. But obviously, who was it came on? Danda, Grant.
There's nothing else to say, mate.
Vargas, aye. I thought there was, and then Tate came on later on in the game. But obviously we had a few more chances, and then we've got the last minute goal. But that obviously a good way to finish the game. But behind closed doors, games they need to get in the bin, man. So done with that, and a last minute goal should be pure elation, but we were all sitting on our couches or whatever and just jumping up in our living room. It takes you back to COVID times when it was shite. So,
the question is though, if we had been playing in front of a home crowd, do you think we would have got that same result?
As in a men's crowd?
Yes. Well, it would have been.
Yeah.
If that game was due to be played in Minsk, would we have got the same result?
No way.
I'm not entirely sure we would have.
Yeah, I think that's a free hit for an away game, to be honest. So, yeah, you make a good point there, Kev. It would have been a lot different. I don't know what their crowd size are like, but I assume they're probably some mad ultra section or whatever. And yeah.
It's about 6,500. Again, they're a little bit like Livingston.
Okay. Way. So, 3 points, home, and then I believe the team went straight to Aberdeen. But where do you think, obviously, the 3 points has us for the league? Well, group stage, I think it's called now.
Probably about 12th.
No, how does it set us up going forward, though? I'm guessing any points a good one at this point, and take 3 points having it earlier. But does it put us in good stead to get through, or how are we feeling?
No, not a chance. Not a chance. I don't know the permutations, but and we've covered this, I think, before. But you look at those games, and you think, this team, this group of players, where's the win coming from? Like Nicosia at home on the 24th this month, scoring draw maybe, and then Hearts at home. Is it Heidenheim? However you say it. We'll get beat off them. The German team, they'll be far better than us. Cercle Bruges, they'll beat us as well. Like, and then was the last one, Copenhagen away. Yeah, we'll get absolutely fucked off them and all. And then we might get a point against Petrol Club. So,
will that be a point or a win?
No, it'll be a point. So it'll be another 2 points to add to the 3 we've got. No matter what way you slice it, that's not enough to qualify.
It's predicted that 6 or 7 points. It's the lowest of 6 will get you through. Can get you through, and then 7 will definitely get you through. So,
I think if you other than the game against the Germans team, I generally would still go as far to say that we should be picking up points at home in the games against Ammonia. I fully understand that they're sitting second in the league at the moment, but I do think that we pick up points against them, and if we cannot beat that team from Moldova at home, then we don't deserve to be in a playoff position.
Agreed.
Which is a situation. I agree with Ando. I think we get absolutely pumped off the team in Bruges, but I'm just going for a trip anyway, so it'll be a good laugh. And Copenhagen's a strange one. I think a lot depends on who you bring in and how that has that knock-on impact and effect to the rest of the team. Because I think, did they not just scrape past Kilmarnock?
They did, aye. Yep.
So,
but then
I guess,
Kev, I get the point about at home we should be beating a team from Moldova, right? We can't beat a team at home from Dingwall. Never mind fucking Moldova. So
I'll give you that, man.
What have you seen so far this season? And this is what I always come back to. Is that what have you seen so far this season? I'm not going after you. This is an open question to everybody. What have you seen so far this season that gives you the belief that we're going to actually be able to do anything against any of these clubs? These clubs can come to Tynecastle and go, oh, fuck it, we've got a chance here because this team is absolutely on their arse. They're playing absolute dog shit football and they've got an absolute nonsense manager. But there's a nice hotel around the corner. That's cool. No one gives a shit about any of that. We just don't have what it takes on the park, the new, to get the victory. I just don't see where it's coming from. And a team from Moldova doesn't present any better of an opportunity for me.
Yeah, I get that, and I understand. But bringing in 8 players does not help. Having that overinflated team is definitely not supported us. We mentioned it last season in regards to Aberdeen doing the same thing, and then Aberdeen falling on their arse while they were going through the European sort of league setup. So from that point of view, overinflating a team and trying to have a team that effectively plays a Thursday night and another team or squad that plays on a Sunday it just doesn't work, right? Evidence in regards to how we tried to do it 2 seasons ago, how Aberdeen tried to do it last season. There you go. So an overinflated squad hasn't helped us. But we've got to remember that really we still have the nucleus of the same squad as we had back in January, February, March, when we were winning games left, right and centre. So to me, it comes back to attitude. It comes back to the fact that I think there's a number of players in that team who actually think they're better than they actually are, and they're getting a big wake-up call at this moment in time.
Okay. So I hear you, and I absolutely take on board what you're saying. But the one thing I'll say in rebuttal to that is that look at the way that we won those games in February, March, and April. Kev, are you getting angry, or are you chugging yourself under the desk? It looked pretty dodgy on camera. So, for the audio listeners only, check out the YouTube clip of that. Kev looks like he's up to something, but never mind.
We're not on YouTube.
Well, it will be. It's not live, but it'll go up there.
No, leave it there.
But look at it. You and I spoke about this before Tam joined the call earlier on. So you look at the way in which we won those games, February, March, and April. Okay, fine enough, we won. But how many times were we behind and we had to dig ourselves out a hole? Right? Okay, fair enough. That shows the team has resilience, which it probably doesn't have now. and that's fine. But it still is not going out and cruising to a 3 or a 4 or a 5-0 commanding victory, which is there's ways to win games of football, and we didn't win football games that well last year, if I'm being honest.
No, there was the goals that Shanklin scored definitely papered over a number of cracks. We knew that, and we did call it out ourselves.
Mhm.
We didn't hide it. We didn't hide from it. But you're right. We did win games. We won games that it got up to Dens Park 2-0 down, came back, won 3-2. We had a game at home against Dundee, came back, won 3-2. It was I think they were back-to-back games virtually. So from that point of view, the resilience is there. To me, then it's a question of where's the attitude. The attitude is gone. The actual the want to an extent may have gone as well. So from those those points, that's where each and every single one of those players has to take a good long hard look at themselves. I know we'll come on to speak about certain individuals again. In regards to Aberdeen, there are individuals in that team who are probably deserving of actually you need to go.
Fair. Well, on that, Kev, let's go on to Aberdeen. So, I believe the teams flew straight to Aberdeen, right? Rather than coming home.
Yep. Flew straight there on Friday. Had Friday night and Saturday night in Aberdeen.
When they were starting anyone.
A night out along Union Street. Got absolutely hammered on the Friday night. Then went down running on the sand dunes on Saturday.
Yeah, and I tell you what, my biggest fear was us travelling, that 5,000 miles or something like that, back to Aberdeen. We know how we play against games last time round when it was Thursday to a Sunday, but early on it seemed like a much better performance. Obviously we lost the early goal, but we'll forget about that for a second. But the actual first half performance there, it was a lot brighter, a lot better pressing. We were fast on the ball. I don't know if it helped that Aberdeen weren't sitting back like we've seen all the other teams do against us this season, and they were trying to play a bit themselves, so it was a bit more an open game. But I thought first half we were really good. Were you happy with the setup first of all and how we sort of started, Kev?
Yeah, as you rightly say, you lose a goal after 2 minutes or whatever it was with a deflection. But in all honesty, for the first half, we were definitely the better team. I think a lot has got to be said about the way in which the back four played. I think Ogie Koki showed that, and on a couple of occasions, he showed the want to actually, to get to a byline.
Yeah,
he was a bit he and Grant were a bit unfortunate in the first half. He gets down, he knocks the ball in, takes a deflection, and then hits Grant, and then it's actually an easy. It's not even a save; it's just a collection for the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
but what I have noticed with regards to the Ross County game, and then again the game on Sunday against Aberdeen is the one of it was Kingsley started the game, but then of course he went off, and then Penrice came on. Is the one for both of either Penrice and Ogie Koki on Sunday, and to an extent Forrester in the game against Ross County, is to actually overlap, get to the byline, actually have a bit of pace. I think most people would admit is the fact we are slow as a week in the jail with regards to how we move the ball. And a couple of times on Saturday, both Ken and Rowles, to their credit, missed out the middleman, went straight long.
Absolutely, I like that, to be honest, Kev. Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it, but I think I think Koki looked strong. I think he looked athletic in regards to the fact that he could probably run all day. But he needs then, in that case, he needs to have a run in the team. The fact he then went off with an injury after 70 minutes or something like that does not look good. But again, that comes back to the fact that it has been mentioned a number of times, is it didn't seem under the terrorists that the actual training itself was done at pace, was done at what we would class as actual game pace. Everything was very slow, everything was very methodical. I don't have a problem with it. But then what happens is when you go into a game, as was the case for Ogie Koki on Sunday, who he's not been playing regularly, and he pulls up in a muscle strain. That's an automatic, and that has to change from a point of view of training.
Yep. And you would hope with this boy coming in to the sporting director role with his history of sports science and whatnot, might have an impact, but we'll see. But yeah, I know what you mean, Kev. Anyway, obviously, first half, plenty of chances, weren't there? Differences I seen was, obviously, I think it's the first time this season we've really seen Danda and Spittle on the pitch at the same time, and I thought they worked well together in that sort of Danda coming inside for the wing, and then Spittle was a bit further forward in the free, and I thought they were really good together, to be honest. What did you think, Ando, about the two of them?
This game on Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Oh, fair. Kev?
I think what I would say about, there was a point in the second half, probably about 60 minutes in, and Spittle had been up trying to support Shankland. Shankland lost the header to their big centre half. Fine, understandable. The guy was 6'3" against, I don't think Shankland's 5'11", maybe 6 foot, for that. So winning headers is a difficult ask, but Spittle was actually doing what you would expect him to do and actually running back. Not doing what we've seen in that Rangers game back at the beginning of the season, and Ando looked like he was tugging he was carrying a tugboat, was what I was going to say. He looks like because he's getting a regular run in games, he's actually getting a bit of fitness, and he was chasing the ball back. But there was so many little things on Saturday, especially in the first half, that was good. I think if you want to ask Shankland, would he have wished he went with his head for that chance, where he's went with his foot and knocked it over the bar? Shankland of earlier this year, this time last season, whatever, would have headed that into the back of the net. There was a number of situations that I think, just because of where we find ourselves, confidence is low, and from that point of view, sometimes then decision making isn't just where it should be.
Yeah. On that, Kev, that chance, and you've also mentioned the one for Grant, but I liked how many balls we were getting into the box. Like, the first thought was get the ball into the box, create a chance, and we were unlucky. There was a lot of chances in the first half. There was another one for Shankland as well, and then obviously our goal comes for a cross into the box. We can't direct to a corner. Restart the counter, Corbett, because I don't know how many games that was without scoring for one, but
it feels like about 1,000.
Oh, that wasn't too bad, actually, to be fair. But we'll know. We'll restart it anyway, and we'll see when the next one is. But at half time, I was pretty happy. I thought we'd had a really good first half, good performance. I thought Aberdeen were a wee bit spooked as well. They obviously had a sold out crowd. The atmosphere seemed didn't really seem that.
Heard that,
like,
it was a little bit lackluster.
Yeah, that's the word I was trying to say. Even though I don't know what it means, but no.
Remember when we used to have Brads on the pod, and things were just a little bit dull and a little bit meh.
No, I know what it means. I'm just thinking this.
Just having a dig at Brads just to balance out, because I had a dig at Shanks earlier on.
But I thought we were really good, and I thought the second half was there to be won. But obviously second half started well. We played well, and then we're talking about Blair Spittle's performance. But I noticed every corner we had, they done what Hearts last year done: 11 men behind the ball in the box, and we had Spittle he was sitting at the edge of the box, and the one that actually fell to him, I was like, please shoot, and obviously took the opportunity and scored a good goal. And that's, I suppose, when we signed Blair Spittle, we were expecting to see more of that, would you say?
Yeah, I would agree. that was probably the kind of player that we believed we were signing. We just haven't quite seen that yet. But yeah, I mean, his strike on Sunday was a good strike. Probably, I think it's maybe caught their keeper out a wee bit. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I think overall, I think we deserve to be 2-1 in front at that particular point of the game itself. Yeah,
100%. And I didn't even mention. I was going to mention, but we'll talk about it, because it was actually before the goal. But Kenny Vargas, What is he doing? Like, I know we've seen it a lot with him and his decision making when he's in front of goal, but out of all the possibilities and all the options he had in front of goal, why would you go for that dink over the keeper? I just don't understand it. You go round them, you pass it to Shankland, you put it low and hard. Any of them. What is he doing?
He's been playing too much FIFA.
Probably has, aye.
Square instead of circle.
Were you as frustrated as me, Kev, watching it?
Yes, 100%. I think everybody who watched it, even those who didn't watch it, but I've seen the actual clip.
I've seen this back.
Oh, you have seen this back.
Yeah,
okay.
You know, everybody will be in that same. But carry on, Ando.
No. Just to re-emphasize what you're saying, he's picked probably the single most difficult thing to do in that scenario and go for the glory, and that's fine. But if you're up 3-0 or 4-0 and you're presented with that scenario, then by all means do whatever wonderful thing you think would be next level. By all means do it, but not when you're a team in our position. Get the goal, try and secure the win, because inevitably things are going to go fucking sideways for you at some stage in the game. So yeah, it's not the time to be doing the flair play.
At that point as well, Ando, you're right. We score that goal, we're in the driving seat firmly. Like, we're straight after half time or whatever. Like, the crowd would get a wee bit on them type thing.
Definitely.
And yeah, you're I've seen people questioning why Shankland was shouting at Vargas because of his age and stuff, but I would have been saying a lot more worse than what he would have probably been saying in that position.
I get it though. He is young. He's secure. He's not playing for a contract or whatever it is. Like, he's absolutely fine. It's one of those things that, imagine it does come off. Right, here's the other side of the coin. Imagine it does come off and you go, fucking hell, brilliant. The whole team rallies behind that, and you go out and you get a bit of momentum and you end up scudding them as a result of that. There's two sides to every coin, isn't there? And it's one of those ones. I think because we lost the game, we're lamenting that and saying, "Oh, it was an absolutely shocking decision." However, if he had scored it and we'd run out 3 or 4-0 winners, it wouldn't have been a thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
and then obviously after the Spittle goal, straight away, was it Nicky Devlin scores? I know we've discussed it to length already, but I feel the keeper should be doing better in that one, certainly. But
the same for just about every goal we've conceded so far this season.
Yeah, but it is what it is, and obviously, go on.
Are we going to discuss how the ball was actually moving for their free kick before they scored?
Well, that's what I was going to bring up.
No, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. It's so what?
Yeah.
So what?
I don't think it makes a difference in terms of the mistakes that were caused before the game, in terms of before the goal, in terms of defending and stuff. But at the same time, Grant, to get booked for that, surely has a right to question that, because you would. And I don't know what was said, but
there's a way to do it. But you realise who you're speaking to, right? You're speaking to John Beaton, who is one of the most no-nonsense referees in the land, right?
He's so card happy, isn't he?
Exactly. He's not going to get taken. He's not going to take well to being spoken to by a wee pube who's trying to tell him what the rules of football are, right? That in and of itself is a yellow card offence in John Beaton's eyes. How dare you speak to me? Fucking yellow card. Bang. That's what he's like. Now, it's one of these things. Better management of a situation is one thing, but players should know. Like, stay in your lane. So what? The ball's moving. What do you think's going to happen? The goal's been scored. Do you really think John Beaton's going to go, oh, wait a minute, oh, fucking hell. Yeah. You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. I better go and check with VAR. Or maybe just, VAR, can you rewind the tapes back? Can we put this back? Was the ball moved? Ah, yeah, you know what? You're right, George Grant. Cool. Let's replay the free kick. Let's take the goal off. You were right. Yellow card's back in my pocket. When has that ever happened in football? It has never happened. It will never happen, especially with that arsehole.
Yeah.
John Beaton is an arsehole. He always has been. He's like one of your FIFA grade referees. But he's absolutely crap. And I'm not particularly going after John Beaton here. I'm going after Grant because it should be the case that know the battles you can win. That's not a battle you can win. Shut up and just get on with it.
I think the arrogance of what he's actually, or what's been come out in the papers since around John Beaton is exactly what you've just said there. And, Grant as well he knew he was on a yellow card. Okay, Opta and everybody else that was at the game didn't realise he was on a yellow card, but he himself must have known he was on a yellow card. And to then make the challenge that he makes only a matter of a few minutes later, what was it, the 70th minute or something like that, 71st minute, he gets sent off, is absolutely schoolboy. And again, stupid. From that point of view, it's 100% stupidity. And I get it, right? You've lost a goal, but you do say, look, that ball was moving. Had that been the other way around, and I get where you're coming from, Ando, but that's what VAR is there to actually do, is to check and make sure these kind of things are done. Now, Beaton has the alleged story, got into the papers, as he did check that. Well, no, you didn't, because it's clear to see for everybody who did watch the game that the ball was moving. However, you are right. Makes no difference. Never was going to get pulled back, in all honesty. The only time that would ever happen is if it was probably one of the ugly sisters. But hey, that's just the way it is.
When they have the VAR review meetings, because when there's a contentious decision, they've done this recently where they'll release a statement that goes, "Yeah, we know we got that wrong." Right, cool.
But
you've acknowledged you got it
now.
Well, it doesn't matter, right? Whether it's weekly, quarterly, bi-monthly, fuck it, who cares? But the end result is the same. Someone comes out and says, "Yeah, we got that wrong." Right, brilliant. What next? Are you changing anything? Is the game going to get replayed? Are you chalking that goal off? Are you giving us a goal for? No, you're not. Right? You get an acknowledgement. It makes no material difference to the outcome. So let's just fucking stop worrying about it. And this is... We're not going to get anything for it. You don't get any financial compensation. You don't get any adjustment to the score, any of the stats, any of the facts, figures, whatever. Right? None of that actually matters. And to get an acknowledgement from the SFA that they got it wrong, everybody knows you got it wrong. You coming out and saying so doesn't change what actually happened in reality. So let's stop getting bogged down with it.
It makes me question, Kev. I know you said he knows he's on a yellow card, but I know nobody else knew he was on a yellow card. Do you really think he makes that challenge knowing he's on a yellow card? Because surely,
yes.
Honestly,
yes, because I don't think he thinks it.
He gets sent off and he doesn't have to play the next game.
I don't think it's just that. I think it's just the fact that so what did he think? Shankland was already on a yellow card. If it was Shankland and Grant, the two of them, the referee has shown a yellow card. If Shankland is still on the park,
fair.
The yellow card was at you, Grant.
Yeah.
Hello, it's no rocket science. So he must have known that a yellow card was shown because they were the only two that were around the referee. So from that point of view, yes, he knew. For them to go in and make a challenge where you are behind the player, taking him out from behind, because you never got the ball, pal, that, in my opinion, that I would actually go as far to say that you didn't get paid for the weekend if you make stupid mistakes like that.
Yeah.
I know that's, that, again, go back to what Ando said, that's never going to happen either. But do you know what I mean? That's the kind of thing.
Well, you see Derek McInnes fined that boy, their player 2 weeks' wages every week there. Can't happen. And if that is the case, and he knows he's on a yellow card and he's diving in like that,
we're soft
honestly,
soft underbelly, never going to happen at Hearts.
Like if he, I just can't believe that decision making. And you look at it and you see there's whoever there was cover there. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. It wasn't like it was a one-on-one. He has to make the challenge. There's no need to make the challenge.
And here's the difference, right? You mentioned the Derek McInnes thing. Is that Derek McInnes fines a boy 2 weeks' wages or whatever it was for them an incident? Fine, no problem with that. Hearts wouldn't do that. Hearts would put him through coaching to make sure that his mental health isn't affected by the fact that he's seen red in a game.
Yeah.
Wrap him in cotton wool. You've never done anything wrong. That's it.
Well, it's actually making me even more angry thinking about it again. I thought I was over that because it's been fucking 5 days.
You're welcome, man. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. After that, though, do you think it just seemed sort of inevitable, didn't it, that Aberdeen would get a winner?
difficult
to an
because I
extent,
didn't
yeah.
watch it in real time. But
Yeah.
from the highlights, obviously I watched the highlights, knowing the result and the outcome, so I can't really best answer that. But I think, Kev, I think I know what you're going to say.
It just felt like we were never going to really hold out, even although what they scored in the 89th or 88th minute or something like that. It felt that even with, I think, 3-4 minutes worth of injury time, it just felt that we were going to be really, really under pressure and under the cosh. And as you said earlier on, Tam, Duke's a good player, right? Yeah. You can't say he's not. Yes, he's had a bit of a bad time. He was really good when he first came in, then went off the boil, but he's got that in his locker. And this is, as I say, this is where the young lad Forrester will hopefully will learn from it. He will learn from the point of view that actually I made a mistake there. I pushed him onto his good foot, whereas actually what I should have done is closed that option off and brought him inside because I'm putting him onto his bad foot. By putting him on his bad foot, I'm also putting him into where Kent is, where Spittles came back or Danders came back or whoever it may be that's tracked back into that position, Boateng, blah, blah, blah. Then from that point of view, I'm restricting any opportunities they're going to have of getting close to the byline to pull the ball back. And that's effectively what happened. Because it never happened just once to Forrester. It happened 2 or 3 times. And you've got to learn from that. But again, that comes back to what the hell is Fox and Lee Wallace and these guys on the sideline, what they telling them? They should be telling them straight away that that's what you've got to do, pal. Don't glit them, don't give them the easy option.
It's on their side as well, like in terms of where they are.
Exactly.
With the dugouts, so it is what it is. Question is now, obviously, what are we behind them now? 18 points? 19
18 points, plus they've got a game in hand on us.
Done then. 3rd place. 2nd place.
Oh, it's been done for a month.
Yeah. I think that's officially it. I think for us now, if we're going to have a miraculous turnaround, I think 4th for a cup run would be our best sort of aims for the season going forward, and a few good showings in Europe. I can't see us getting 3rd place any longer.
I'll be honest, I think it's a lot more worrying than that. I think we'll struggle to get top 6 this season. You heard it here first.
Fair. I think we've seen enough on Sunday that there is a team there, put it that way. I'm not as worried as previous seasons when we've been relegated that we're going to struggle as bad as that, or when we finished in the bottom 6. I think there is a team there, and I think the teams above us, out with the top 3, they're all there to be caught at some point. They'll all take points off each other, and I think it's going to be a tight league as it always is, but I think it'll be even tighter this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Outside of that top 3 anyway. Aye,
so we've got 27, so played 8 games, and the split would be on game 33. So we've got 25 games to try and secure top 6.
75 points available. That's magic. Let's do it.
Fucking terrifying that I'm even saying that as a sentence, and it's in the back of everyone's head. Don't care what you say. It's in the back of your head.
Wait, I'll say you heard it here first, but we'll get top 6. That's probably an easier bit.
Cool. No worries. We'll have a showdown. I challenge you to a duel. Right. Well, the terms to be discussed later. Oh. I'm saying it's a bottom 6 performance this year. You're saying it's top 6.
I'll ask Barry McKay for one of his nylon gloves or whatever you call it.
His silk gloves.
Silk gloves.
Well, the exact. Do you accept the challenge?
I do. We'll see what
cool.
we can.
We'll work out punishments later.
Answers on a postcard. Let us know.
What I will say on this, Tam, is you usually are the nail in the fucking coffin.
Yeah, I've got a habit of saying something and it goes completely opposite way. So I do apologise.
So get ready to shave your head.
Just ask my missus. She knows I'm never. Ask my missus. She knows I'm never wrong.
Terms have to be agreed with before I sign off on my forfeit. There we go.
Sorry, I'll get Corbett and Kev to hold you down. It's fine.
I'll be moving.
Wait a minute. What are you doing to him?
Well, to be decided, Kev, but it's going to involve him getting held down if he doesn't agree yet.
You could just ask me for a wee winch, I'll take it. Aye, so thankfully, we're all happy to hear there's no game to ruin our weekends this week. So we'll be all right there. But
me and Kevin Corbett are fine. You've got the Scotland game to worry about. Who's Scotland playing? Let's pretend for a second like I give a shit.
Croatia on Saturday night.
Oh, you're getting fucked.
And Portugal on Tuesday night.
What? Portugal? Oh, you double fucked over the weekend.
Nations League, they're in the top ones. It's the big ones.
This could be the first weekend in a while where you've been fucked twice. And maybe even a third if you ask the missus nicely.
On that note, cheers, boys. But fuck yeah. Right.
Look at you squirming. We're not doing predictions for
we'll predict St Mirren. Or what are we predicting? Will we have a new manager in place by next Saturday?
Oh, see that? Yes. Well, we've not even covered that, and I know we said we shouldn't because of the all the different names and stuff. But
I don't know if you have seen tonight, but your man, who was it? Fingway Barnes for the Daily Record has said that it's down to 2. Right. What's his name? I've forgotten it. Scott Barnes. It's 10-2. So he's now reporting. He's been in our community chat actually, reading what's happening, and he's found out from our sources that there's just 2 candidates remaining. Yeah.
Yep. And
is he in our group chat?
He might be. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe. What are the 2 names of the people involved? Has he bothered to disclose this?
Not getting given anything of that. So
there's a report for the Daily Record. Did you say?
Yeah. To be fair, he's usually pretty on the ball with stuff.
Yeah, because he normally copy.
Actually, I do apologise. No, that is wrong. He's not given any names.
If you have read the group chat, you'll know that anyone that works for the Daily Record effectively just copy and pastes real journalists' work, and maybe just adds a couple of little pointed bits of their own. But some I know don't want to get bogged down with it, and it'll be announced in the fullness of time. And I think if we get an announcement shortly, we should probably do some sort of reaction pod, because as it stands just now, we're not due to be speaking again for another 10 days until after the St Mirren game. But then if we do get a new manager in place between now and then, we'll definitely make the effort to come on and absolutely criticise and chastise whoever it is that we've decided to appoint, because inevitably they will be crap.
We might have to ask like Joe Sked or Barry Anderson or Craig Cairns on to try and help us work out who the manager is and then give us some insight, because we'll be Googling the same as every other Hearts fan.
Mate, I've got a Chat GPT account. It's fine. Just tell me all about the new Hearts manager, and there you go. That'll work.
That's it. Right. Anyway, next game is next Saturday. St Mirren. Just gives a score. I don't feel we have to give any sort of other bold predictions or anything, because it could be anything. But Kev, gives a score.
Desmond 2-2.
I reckon I'll get there at lunchtime. Kev and I will go for a few pints. Kev will be loud and leery by 2:00.
Sleeping by 3.
Yeah, exactly. I'll burn my face on a steak and gravy pie before kickoff even happens. Small matter of the football will be Heart and Midlothian 2, St Mirren 3. It will be another glorious failure, and that'll be that.
Fair enough. I am going to say we will have our first win of the season. I'm going to say that, and we will win 2-1.
Second win of the season.
First league win of the season. Is what I was meant to say. And we will win 2-1. There we go. New manager bouncing all.
There we go then.
But cheers, boys. Thanks for this evening. I can tell you really enjoyed yourself, Ando and Kev. Kev's, you needed to watch your blood pressure at that Barry McKay bit, but I'm glad we got over that and got through it.
All joking aside, it's always good to speak to you boys. You know I love this, but I think it's we find ourselves in a trying scenario just now, and sometimes you just have to lean into how crap the team is and just get on board with how shit we are. Because when you're at the bottom, the only way is up.
Exactly.
Inspirational, Ando.
There you go.
On that note, anyway. Catch you later, right?
See you later.
See you later.
Go, get out.